For today's double preview, we have two fantastic shooters, both built off of GZDoom and both couldn't be further apart from each other, with Relentless Frontier and Selaco. As customary with both games being played in their early access forms, what you see in this video may not represent their current versions. We'll begin with Relentless Frontier. You awaken on a strange alien outpost that apparently is under siege. With no other people around, you and your Omniacs must start slashing and eventually shooting your way to uncover the mystery as to what's going on. Relentless Frontier's design feels kind of like a middle ground between the faster pace of like a Doom Eternal with the more like movement tech and really like over the top kind of agility of that of Ultra Kill. Levels are very wide with multiple secrets and upgrades that you can return to in each episode in order to uncover more resources, upgrades, and more goodies. Enemies run the gambit from head crab like hopping ones to larger brutes, drones, and more. You're going to have to do your best to avoid them while trying to get those hits in. Now, Relentless Frontier does do two things a little bit differently from other shooters. Your Omni-Axe will charge up Omni-Gel by killing enemies with it, and Omni-Gel acts as kind of an emergency resource. At any time, you can use your accumulated Omni-Gel to recover health, ammo for your current weapon, and armor. And there's only so much you can carry at one time, but there are upgrades to improve this. I do like this as kind of a middle ground between a full-on push-forward combat system and the consumable focus of older boomer shooters. As long as you have Omni-Gel, you can kind of recover from any major fight, and there's usually enough resources on the field to help you otherwise. Now this is important as the game features quite a menagerie of enemies. Many of them have armor, and if you shoot an enemy who has armor, your bullets will do less damage, and the only way to get through that is to use attacks that specifically do armor break. This includes the upgrade to your pistol, as well as your kind of shotgun that you get early on. This becomes important as bosses will eventually have armor that you must chew through before you can actually start hurting them directly. And I was really enjoying this one from our time with it. The level design being so wide gives you a lot more freedom to explore and kind of set up some more interesting arena fights. Now, we got to play up to the kind of first official boss, and this one definitely shows promise. I am interested to see kind of what additional weapons and other unlocks will be available down the line. So if you're looking for a very faster pace, not super fast, but still only faster size shooter, then this is a very easy recommendation. And now we go to Selaco. And we have a very different kind of gunplay and feel compared to Relentless and some of the other boomer-ish style shooters that we've played. We are on the space station Selaco, where nothing could possibly go wrong. Except we wake up from an alien invasion, soldiers are murdering everyone, and we're going to have to run, slide, and punch and shoot our way to save the day. The gameplay here focuses similarly to Relentless Frontier on very wide and very large areas, but there is a greater emphasis on secrets and things to find and interact with. You'll be able to uncover free resources, get access to early weapons, and even find permanent upgrades around. You'll also can interact with just about everything and anything if everyone just like throw stacks of paper or chairs at the enemies. But it's the gunplay that really sells Selaco. The idea is to kind of combine a more like grounded, like modern shooter with that of the faster paced, more arcadey-like movement of an older style boomer shooter. And what we have here is a very interesting like meeting in the middle between the two. You are going to be moving fairly quickly in Selaco. You have both a kind of side dash and a slide that you can use to dodge bullets and to engage with enemies. Sliding into enemies will count as a melee attack, and if enemies hit anything during the knockback, it will cause damage. You can also sneak attack on an enemy by hitting them in the back, which will count as an instant kill if they're not alerted to you. Enemies are on the intelligent side. They will move to flank and engage, throw grenades, and the game does an interesting take of having kind of these escalation tiers, where as the story progresses, enemies will gain new upgrades as a way of kind of like compensating for how good you are. So the basic riflemen will eventually get to do more damage, they will get shields that they can deploy, among other things. Now with the gunplay itself, you have a very great mix of weapons, from your kind of magnum pistol to your shotgun that, as per requirement for all shooters, feels very meaty and powerful to use. The game does a great job of allowing you to play it in many different ways. While you will be moving and sliding and doing all that, this is not the same as, say, a Trepang 2 or even Doom Eternal, where it's meant to be very fast-paced. Here, because of kind of the grounded nature of the moving and shooting, you are given a bit more leeway in terms of how you engage with enemies. If you want to run in and kind of like John Wick your way through enemies, you can do that. If you want to hang back and do pistol and assault rifle sniping, that's also fair as well. If you want to even use your landmines and do some kind of high IQ plays with them and hopefully not get killed in the process, that's also an avenue. And the game features a lot of interesting systems on top of that. You'll eventually get the ability to unlock modules and permanent upgrades for your weapons. The weapon kit mods change properties of your weapons and will oftentimes give you a benefit, but with maybe some kind of small disadvantage. While the upgrades, which are tied to tech modules, are just all good. So you can make your pistol do more damage, reduce spread, have more ammo in your magazines, and so on. And you will definitely need this, as not only besides the enemies getting more upgrades, they are very nasty to fight, especially if you're playing this on the higher difficulties, or if you're playing the game on kind of the super troll difficulty that I'm sure will even get more trolly as the game goes through early access. But what I like about Selaco is that it does genuinely feel like a different take on FPS design. It's, again, not quite the super fast hyper speed of an ultra kill, but it's not that kind of very slow, very much like take 2 steps, fire, take another 2 steps, fire kind of thing. Aggression is certainly rewarded in this game, but so is just careful planning and adapting to the situations as they come up. I like that the game features regenerating health if it falls below kind of like the danger zone, but this is definitely not a case of push forward combat. You will have to rely on consumables and finding all that lovely ammo out on the field if you want to stand a chance. If I had any legitimate problem with the game, is that it is a little bit on the dark side, even using your flashlight. The problem is that you have very dull colors in the dark, fighting a lot of enemies who have very dull colors in the dark with their armor, and it can be very tricky sometimes to spot an enemy when they're just trying to shoot you, or when they start moving around and trying to flank. And I would have loved maybe some kind of like night vision mode, or even just like being able to see like outlines in some of the cases. Still, this is a phenomenal game, and the fact that, like some of the other shooters that we've played, like Cultic, Ultra Kill, and a few others, that are still in early access, it already shows an impressive amount of depth and gameplay. And like Relentless Frontier in the first part of this video, it comes with a very easy recommendation from me. And between this one, Relentless, and all the other early access shooters that we play, it's going to be a very hard time for me to decide which ones will be my favorites for whatever years they will be released. But that is going to do it for this video. So once again, Relentless Frontier was played with the demo build, while Selaco was played with a retail key. If you're looking to your game for a future video, stream, exam that involve boomer, shooting, or GZDoom, then please reach out. Let me know what you think about these ones down below if you've played them. With that said, thanks for watching, and see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, Be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and if you're interested in more of my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.